Hi everyone, Jason Franks again with Games for Gaijin, episode 2. Today we're going to be taking a look at what I've decided to call frog stack in English. In Japanese, the name is Kasanete Kaeru. Kasanete meaning stack or building a tower, and Kaeru meaning frog. This game debuted last year, 2017, at the Spring Tokyo Game Market. It's between 25 and 30 US dollars, 30 to 40 minutes to play. One constraint to this game is that it is only 4 players. So you have to have 4, otherwise it will not work, and it is definitely not something that you can house rule for fewer players. In terms of classifying this game, the closest I can come is that it is a play on checkers, which may not seem interesting at first glance, but once we crack this game open, I think you will be as intrigued as I was when I finally got it to the table. So without further ado, let's take a look at Frog Stack. All right, so Frog Stack. We'll start off with how you win the game. Every color is going to start in one of the 4 corners of the board, and all you need to do to win is to get all 7 of your pieces to the opposite corner from where you start. So red needs to get from this lower right corner to the upper left corner, all 7 pieces, and the first person to do that is going to win the game. So each player has 7 frog tokens that fall into one of 5 types. First, we have the king. The king can move 1 space in any direction, so pretty much just like chess. Your queen can only move 1 space in the diagonal directions, so 1 space in any diagonal direction. Your princess can also only move 1 space in each diagonal direction. Your knights and your soldiers can move 1 space in any of the cardinal directions. So we have king, 1 space any direction, your queen and princess move diagonally, and then your knight and your soldier move along the cardinal directions. Now your queen and your knight have a special ability which is called leading. So in Frog Stack, when you move on top of another frog, as you might have suspected, you form a stack. If the queen lands on top of a stack and decides to move, she brings the whole stack with her. And as you move, you drop off frogs as you go. This is pretty interesting because you can get some cascading moves, and you pretty much go until you can't move anymore. So, for example, if the knight were on top of a stack, I would move 1, drop off the bottom token, 2, drop off the next token, 3, finish my movement. So even though every figure can only move 1 space, the knight and the queen can carry those stacks and lead them into this cascading effect. One aspect of this type of movement is that if you land on your same color, you're going to end your movement prematurely. So because I landed on another blue piece, my knight would not continue and I would stop my movement there. The only other rule about stacking frogs is the maximum number of a color that you can have in a row is 3 frogs. So I can never put 4 of my frogs all in a row in one stack. Aside from that, you're pretty much just trying to utilize the different movement abilities of your frogs to be the first one across the board. So everybody shuffles up their pieces and starts with 1 frog face down on top. Everybody reveals. and then you take turns doing one move at a time. So yellow, the princess, can move diagonally. Blue, the soldier, can move vertically. Green, the princess, can move diagonally. Red, the king, can move any way you want. Then it comes back around again. I could either move my princess a second time, or I could turn over my next frog, see that I have a soldier, and move my soldier. But let's say I decide to move my princess here. Then blue, I have my queen. I'll move her diagonally. Green, I can jump on top of the yellow's token. Now, if it comes around to green again, because the princess frog cannot lead her stack, she would just jump off. And if I manage to land on the opposite corner, green would score that token. So it's competitive in that you're really trying to utilize the movement of your different frogs to prevent your opponents from making big movements with these giant frog stacks, because the queen and the knight can carry a whole bunch of frogs much closer to your own goal while moving every other frog farther away from that player's goal. And that's really frog stack in a nutshell. It's taking the different movements of each frog and the stack leading ability of the queen and the knight to try to get all your pieces to the other side of the board. All right, so that was Frog Stack. I hope you are as interested in this game as I was when I got my first look at it. If you have thoughts on what the actual game translation should be for the name, please leave a thought in the comment section of this video. The other names that I think could definitely work are Frog Tower or Leapfrog. If you can see on the box, in the middle of the katakana here, it actually says Frogo. So I don't know if that's a play on the traditional Chinese board game of Go, but I guess that's just another bonus option for what the English name of Frog Stack could end up being. So again, from Phantom Lab Games, Frog Stack, interesting play on a 4-player competitive version of checkers. Next week on Games for Gaijin, you're going to get a double header of stack games. Next week, we're going to be looking at Sweet Stack. This is a competitive Tetris game. So for those of you that grew up loving Dr. Mario or Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine or Super Puzzle Fighter, I think you will definitely want to tune in to take a look at this Halloween-themed competitive Tetris board game. Until then, this is Jason Franks with Games for Gaijin.